Welcome to That's So Savvy, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories and journeys of remarkable business leaders. Join our host, Nancy Eichholz, a seasoned professional and experienced entrepreneur, on her mission to discover the recipe for business success.
Welcome back, listeners, to That's So Savvy podcast. I have one of my nearest and dearest on today. This is episode 8, and I am welcoming my very good friend, Catherine Seifert. She is the founder and inventor and now the proud seller of Car Cache. So I'm going to have her give you some background of who she is and how she got to the point of creating Car Cache. Everything that you did in your career up until then really led you to this, but it was a need, and women are so good at recognizing a need and filling the need and solving a problem. And that's why we're so good at being entrepreneurs. But I think it's really important for the That's So Savvy podcast audience to know that you weren't just sitting home thinking about your purse.
Yeah.
So tell us all about you, Catherine.
It's great to be here, Nancy. Thank you. I'm so excited. The story is a fascinating one.
It is.
It's like a movie should be made. But
I like Joy.
Yeah, I like Joy, but it's even more exciting than that.
Can I play myself?
Yeah, you can, because you're a big part of it. My background, real quick, I have been in technology. My degree was back Purdue way back when.
No, it wasn't
computers.
That far. We're only 29.
Yeah, that's right. Is that what it is? Okay. Went to Purdue and then with Computer Associates and IBM. So a lot of technology in the background. And I've also started packaging and fulfillment companies, 2 of them, taking them to core supplier status with Procter & Gamble. What that means is the warehousing, the pick, pack, and ship, the things that Amazon does. Mm-hmm. I was doing that 25 years ago, 30 years ago, before anybody even understood what e-commerce was. Won the business for Microsoft. So Microsoft, remember the MSN CDs that we used to have, that you used to get and install?
Oh, yeah.
We won the business to pick, pack, and ship it for Microsoft and created their ordering form and managed the website in here, little Cincinnati. Yep. It was so wild.
Hey, nothing wrong with Cincinnati.
It was so awesome. I had a lot of experience with that. I've also had experience with importing from China. So that wasn't scary to me at all. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is what I'm about to talk about, I had a lot of background, and it was always in business to business, never business to consumer,
That's a
which
whole
is
different animal.
A completely different animal, and not an animal that I really liked to want to learn about. And it just kind of got...
I love the consumer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love business to business. I've always done it. I have always had a real problem in the car where my purse would always fall over when I put it on the passenger seat, or thinking about my son going out and playing soccer.
Right.
And he gets off that field and he goes and he stands in that filthy porta potty. Then he comes and he puts his feet on the floorboard in my car, which is where I put my purse because he's now sitting on my seat.
I never thought about that.
I do. It always grossed me out. And it was a real problem. My lipstick is my moisturizer. So I'm always reaching for it. And it ultimately, when the bag would fall over, it would go under my seat. And I would have to go out and get it the next morning because I couldn't find it. But I was at a soccer match and I'm just sitting there thinking, what can I do with my purse? I looked between the seats and I you see that space there. And I thought, I wonder if there's something with that. And I literally that night, in the middle of the night, dreamt about it.
Oh my gosh.
I dreamt the design.
Wow.
I went the next day. I don't sew. I don't sew. I'm not. And
okay, for those of you who don't know Catherine, she is quite professional. She's an awesome friend, but she is not domestic.
Not at all. I am the worst. Her
husband always said that he would hide her Christmas gifts in the oven because he knew that was the one place she would look.
Yeah, but he's well fed, so he'll never. He's the best fed person around.
Absolutely, you make good reservations.
Yeah, I do. But anyhow, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, so you were dreaming about it. And so
I dreamt about it. And then I went to go to Joann Fabrics to buy the material to create this thing. I stopped at Walgreens, and on the end cap was a design for a product. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, that's what I dreamt last night, but I would use it differently than what it was. So that kind of started it all. And I still went to Joann Fabrics, and I ended up on my dining room floor creating this hammock with duct tape.
Right.
And I put it in. And again, I do not buy gadgets. I've never bought gadgets.
I know. You don't like clutter.
I don't.
But what I loved at that point, I loved that you called it the handbag hammock.
I like that name.
I love that name,
yeah,
but I know.
We had several very close friends. You guys all have strong
marketing people.
Those marketing people said you can't do that. But anyhow, I created it. I used it. And the impact on me was huge.
Oh, of course. And didn't you take it to like a shoe repair to get the first prototype?
To have it sewn pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it did to me is it gave me truly a physical feeling that my car was clean because nothing was on the floor, nothing was on the seat. Because I'm addicted to my lipstick for my moisturizer, I could drive down the street literally and not take my eyes off the road and just stick my hand in and get the lipstick.
Right.
But it really worked. And I used it for a few months. This is where the story gets really fun. It was a Thursday night, and this would have been now 13 years ago, I guess. My husband says to me on a Thursday night, you should do something with that purse holder. That's a good idea. And I said, because we didn't have a name, I'm just using it with duct tape and all. And I said, I need to get the patent process going so I can speak freely about it. Mm-hmm. That was the end of the conversation. That was it. The next day, our son had a buddy over. He was going to be a freshman in high school. They were hanging. We had never met him before. And his dad came to pick him up. And he comes in. We're having a beer. We're just chatting. And we finally said, David, what do you do? He says, I'm a patent attorney.
Oh, what do you know?
And we just started laughing. He said, you got to come out to the car and see this. Tell us what you think. So I get in the driver's seat. He's in the passenger seat. I take my purse and throw it into my little hammock. And he looks over at me and says, what is it? And I pointed at my purse, and he looked me directly in the eye and said, I will do it for free. Remember me when you're big.
Aww.
Which was one of the biggest, most exciting parts of the whole story is when we gave him and his wife a large check, which was so fun.
Aww.
That kind of got it going. All right. So that would have been August. And by April, I had the website was getting created and everything was kind of getting situated. I was getting some samples made and so forth. A woman I know in Cincinnati knew, and I can't think of the anchor's name right now, but on Fox 19 in the morning, they evidently had lunch. She told this anchor.
I remember exactly who you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
Yes,
It'll come to me later.
She was a sweetheart. Yeah. This woman, this anchor called me and said, can I try one? I'm curious. And I gave her one, and this is in April. She immediately, like within a week, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a text saying, I love it. When can I have you on?
Nice.
And I'm sitting there, I'm lying in bed because it's so early in the morning. I said, well, June 3rd, I'll be 51 years old and my website will be up. So how about June 3rd? She immediately sends back, all right, 9:15, June 3rd, you're on.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's how I launched it. All right?
I remember that.
All right, so now we're June. July, a woman contacted me. She had heard about me. She said that she takes consumer products to market. Now, again, mind you, I had no interest in taking this to market. I did this 100% for myself only.
Right.
So my husband and I met with her. She said, I'm going to take 4 samples. I'm going to do a focus group. And if I feel I can help you, I'll send you a contract. Well, we got a fantastic contract from her. I found out I'll bet you it was a month or 2 later. Her husband's cousin is Kevin Harrington, who is one of the starters of Shark Tank. Right. And he started All As Seen on TV. She had sent the samples to Kevin. He said he didn't get it, which is understandable.
Right. Well, somebody got it, but not him. Somebody's using that.
Yeah. Well, what he did is, being an expert in that whole consumer market, he sent them to HSN, Home Shopping Network. Mm-hmm. What this woman told me is, if they like it, they know it can go to retail. It should go to market. HSN's response was, I love it! ! So that gave me ammunition that, hey, maybe I do have something here. That is around July timeframe. August, one of your guests, Lisa Woodruff, organized 365. Phenomenal business person.
Oh, no kidding.
But she had just started her business in professional organizing. She had heard about my product and we got together. She wanted to try a sample of it and do review on her blogs. What did they do?
I think that was a blog.
It was blogs
at that
back
point.
then.
Right.
Things are very different now.
It was before she started her podcast.
Yes. And so she loved the product and wrote a great review on it. And then told me, and this again is in August, and she said, well, I'm going to be speaking to a bunch of professional organizers throughout the United States via Skype at the time. And I'm going to bring up your product. And I said, oh, that's great. I didn't even think twice about it. And I can tell you on September 24th, it was a Tuesday, remember vividly, because it was after lunch and I was taking a nap. And my call center calls me and said, Amazon's headquarters just called and wants to know if they could put a store up for you. I immediately called this man back and I'm laughing. I said, what? It's never even been out of Cincinnati. I mean, these bloggers hear about it and they're all writing these reviews about it, which was awesome.
And who was producing for you at this point? Who was actually manufacturing at this point?
Oh, through WeBank, the women certification organization, they connected me. I wanted a minority or a woman-owned business to help me manufacture here in the U.S. And just found, it's called Columbus Canvas in Columbus, Indiana, or Ohio. And they were fabulous, fantastic.
Great news. You've had this call. You're up on Amazon. Life is good. It's kind of scary. But then what happens next?
Right after that, and again, that's around September timeframe, October timeframe, Shelby McKee with Key Socks, who has just been a wonderful sounding board. We have gone through all of our challenges together with patenting a product and getting it to market and so forth. And she's been phenomenal. She reached out to me and she was on Good Morning America with her Key Socks because they're so brilliant. She's actually been on there, I don't know how many times. I want to say 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot because she's got such a great product. She sent me the Good Morning America contact for deals and steals or something. It's January, I guess. And I just sent an email off with a paragraph or 2 about my product, about Amazon contacting me. And within 15 minutes, she said, send me samples. So I sent samples. Nice. So I did get on Good Morning America again through all these amazing women that have helped.
And we had a really fun watch party.
We did. Nancy, you had a fabulous party here with all these women. How many were there? I don't know, 15?
Easily, maybe 20.
And it was just, we have the computer sitting on the table. The TV is going and we had Michael Strahan and Sarah. And it was so fun to watch on the computer as all the orders were coming in. It was fascinating. And I don't remember exactly the number, but I want to say like maybe $115,000 in 15 seconds.
It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
It was so fun. Yeah. But the big thing though is, again, on June 3rd, when I was 51, the website went up. 1 year later, on June 3rd, 52 years old, I signed with All Star Marketing. They are the ones that took the Snuggie blanket to 100,000 retailers worldwide. Snuggie blanket was one of the biggest consumer products. I signed with them to take my product to market to 100,000. They changed the name to the purse pouch.
I forgot that iteration.
I licensed it to them. So that means, again, as I said, I had no interest in taking it to market. I did it for me.
Yeah.
They did everything and they did a great job. And then when I got my patent, that was probably about 3 years after they had it. I took it back. My husband and I took it back from them.
Remember that iteration too.
And we went back to the name of the car cache, wanted to prepare it so that I can get enough ammunition, enough sales so that I can sell the product eventually.
The patent.
Yes, sell the patent within probably 2 years from taking it, 2 to 3 years after taking it back from them and getting my own manufacturing done in China.
Why did you switch from the manufacturer in Columbus to China? Just purely cost?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Picture, and this kills me because so many people say it should be made in the USA.
Yeah,
it should be,
right.
Okay.
We'd love that.
All right. Think of my product. It's not an elaborate product.
Quite simple.
For them to just sew that car cache. They're going to buy the material, sew it, and put it on the floor. How much in the United States would that cost?
Per unit?
$17. $17
To make it?
to make it. If I do it in China, just to have that done, exactly the material and everything, $1.
Oh my God.
So it was like, there was no question. And the amount of, we did over $20 million in sales.
You wouldn't have been able to sell the product for the margin you would have needed.
No.
Yeah.
But about now, it's been 3 years now that we had 15 companies trying to buy my product.
Oh my gosh.
Or
This
my
is
company.
like a dream come true.
I know, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then we sold it to the 22nd fastest growing company in the world. It's all done. And I've been out of it now for 3 years.
Has it been 3 years? Wow.
It's been 3 years from that start of that process and stuff. But it feels really good.
Yeah, you're enjoying that retirement. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's such a great story. There's so many twists and turns in it. I mean, we've just kind of scratched the surface on all the highs and lows. And I mean, I remember some of those teary lunches and happy cocktails and more teary lunches and stress and all the things. It all worked out in the end. But throughout that journey, there were definitely some challenges. Let's talk a little bit about the challenges, because part of That's So Savvy is we want to help people know what's the savvy secret to success, but we also don't want people to think that you just throw up a shingle and all of a sudden you can sell a patent or business for lots and lots of money and you're done. This was a start to finish, how many years between the idea to the sale?
I'm 62.
Okay.
And my website went up when I was 51.
Okay.
So that's 12 years right there.
Okay. And then the idea was what, a year or so ahead of that?
Just a little bit a year.
Okay. So let's say 12-year journey.
Uh-huh.
And in that 12-year journey, lots of highs, but some challenges. You had mentioned some earlier when we were talking about some tariff issues and other things. So you want to talk about some of those key challenges that you had to work through and what your thoughts on those are?
It's fascinating because, and this is what I want your audience to learn, the counterfeits and the patent infringers on Amazon, astronomical. I had a really good relationship with Amazon because they brought me in and it was consistently the number one bestseller, our Amazon's Choice product. When I would say, hey, someone has a counterfeit on your site. So you'll see all these options where you can buy the car cachet, but there's only one real car cachet, but the other ones are half price. So I'm going to try it. The quality is always bad and all that.
Right.
So they were always really good early on. Now it's very different. Thank God I'm not dealing with Amazon now.
Right.
But they would take it down. Or someone would come out with a design that's basically the same design with a different name on it. And I'd have to say, hey, they're infringing on my patent. You got to take it down. When you're on Amazon, you want to purchase from the brand. Really, it's worth it to do that because you don't know what you're going to get.
And there is an indication on different products that it's not the actual seller, right? Like
yes,
it's reseller.
It'll say who the seller is.
Right.
You really want to do that.
So people need to really pay attention to that.
And it could be the seller, could be Amazon. That's the next best.
Okay.
That's usually pretty good.
With my marketing and branding background, I'm always looking at marketing and I love it. I could do it 24/7. But your marketing was very non-traditional. So let's talk a little bit about once you were on Amazon, some of these exciting things that happened that were marketing, but not necessarily driven by you.
I am blessed with girlfriends such as yourself with strong marketing backgrounds because I have no interest in marketing whatsoever. But I was blessed with this network through Amazon where BuzzFeed would do on a regular basis one of the top organizing products or top car products. And they would send these lists out throughout the United States and I'm not sure where, but I don't even know what's happening. And then there's a Real Simple magazine. They actually did a video on my product and a girlfriend sent me the link and said, hey, have you seen this? So I always assumed that the person who owned the products was paying these organizations. Well, in my case, I had no idea. My marketing it was almost all free.
Wow.
The bloggers,
Nice.
I wouldn't pay any of the bloggers. I would tell them they kind of needed me as much as I needed them. They need new content. I did pay one blogger because she was so awesome and says, I spend so much time taking pictures and things like that. She said, can I have $50?
Oh.
I said, okay, I'll pay you $50. Sure. She was wonderful.
And a car cachet.
Yeah, really. But anyhow, the marketing was fascinating. I did all of this on spending no money.
That's the most amazing part of this whole story.
Yeah, I would run one Instagram ad. I've had so many companies wanting to buy my product from me so they can sell it. I would not let anyone sell it. I only did it on Amazon. I wanted those reviews, and I love my lifestyle. I love my husband. I love my son. I didn't want to deal with that all of it.
Well, and I'm all about as much free marketing as you can get. And that's why I love PR so much, public relations. Now, it is not truly free because you're paying professionals if you're doing it right, but it's third-party endorsement. And that is so exponential. And so I think the message, another savvy secret for our listeners, is you don't have to have a huge marketing budget to be very effective. I built my national brand in a year and a half, almost exclusively on social media and with public relations.
Amazing.
So it can be done. And then here's your story. So you're right. You don't have to buy television ads. You don't have to do billboards. If you have the budget for that, go for it. Awesome. Please do. But most people don't starting out. So I think that's a really good tip for our listeners.
I literally did nothing except for
priorities.
Probably once a month. I'd have my pajamas on, watching TV, have my computer up, and there's Alibaba. Pull up Alibaba in China so I can see where all these counterfeits are being made. And I would cut and paste. I didn't even put the company's name, who I was sending the note to. I would send it to them, cut and paste, saying cease and desist. It's a patented product, and I will pursue legal. I bet 99% of the time, the next day would be a letter coming back, a note coming back saying, I am so sorry, I didn't know. They all came down, all came down. There was one big, which I was in the process of suing, that would not come down because they were making the most counterfeits. But when I sold it to this other company, I was hoping that they would go after them.
Did they?
No, they had so many issues that they were going so fast. They were going so fast.
They had bigger fish to fry.
Yes. But I want to talk about the counterfeits on Amazon. They are so bad now. But I also want you guys to know in the audience about these tariffs from my product.
I want to hear that because there's so many different perspectives on tariffs. I was just on a call a week ago with someone very well known who is very opposed to tariffs because the savings in their mind don't get passed on to the consumer. So tell me the other side.
In my situation, when Trump put tariffs on, it did cost me more to bring my product over. All of the counterfeits almost went away. Not really.
Interesting.
Because they, number one, already are not making hardly any money because they've undercut it so much.
Right.
And number two, they can't afford to have it shipped over here. So while it cost me more, I mean,
kind of eliminated that issue.
Yes. I didn't have, and that's, again, on Amazon, it's such a big issue for the sellers.
The people who are counterfeiting, are they primarily U.S. based or are they, and just bringing it in from other countries, or are they other people from other countries shipping it into us?
Both.
Right.
It's both.
So it doesn't really matter. So either way, they're going to pay the tariff though.
Yes.
So by eliminating that level of competition, which is really more like a bunch of gnats. It's not really true competition, but it's like annoying gnats.
Oh, that's a pretty big gnat. It's like a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money that went off. When I had the licensing firm, All-Star, take my product to market, let's say they did 500,000 units in China. What happens when they place that order? Immediately, that manufacturer, their employees are telling their brothers and sisters that work within, I bet you, 2 weeks. You saw complete, even the artwork and the packaging, everything identical within 2 weeks. They're manufacturing because they know it's a successful product already. It's so terrible.
And you have no control over that because you're not there and they don't have the same kind of laws we have and all the things. Another thing I remember in your journey along the way was COVID. And
oh, yeah.
Some challenges. We all had challenges. Everybody had challenges. But specifically, your product, what happened?
I honestly thought immediately, all right, there goes all the sales. And again, it was always in one of the top, all of automotive. I mean, they had over 500,000 products. It was always a top seller every day. And I thought, well, the sales are going to go, number one, away because people aren't driving. Oh my gosh, I guess people are bored at home because sales did not. They kept going up and up and up.
They had time,
but
time to buy.
You remember how Amazon had such problems because so many people were shipping their product to use Amazon because people were going to retail. They had to get rid of my product. Number one bestseller in Amazon's automotive, if not in the top 100. And that's against windshield wipers and anything you can think of. It was mid-December, 2 of the prime weeks. All of a sudden, the sales were so huge, and then all of a sudden, nothing. And Amazon said it doesn't have any product. And I had to talk to them for 2 weeks because they had it. It was in the parking lot, in the trucks, because remember, there was so much product coming in, and they couldn't get it into the warehouses.
Right.
And so I can't tell you how much money we lost because of that.
It was tragic. It was tragic time in so many ways.
It was terrible.
And that's the thing about business and business ownership and entrepreneurship. You just never know. Like, who knew in my world that there was going to be a big, ginormous global cocoa shortage?
Yeah.
Like, really? What the heck? So I would certainly hope somebody's trying to figure out how to grow cocoa in hothouses because I can't go without chocolate.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, it's everything, right? You don't expect absolutely the unexpected, but really expect what you totally could never see coming.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. The other thing I think we wanted to talk about was, and I think you kind of covered that a little bit in the counterfeits and how you sort of addressed the counterfeit, but were any other advice on people who hold patents and somebody's trying to infringe other than have a great attorney?
It's been a while and things have changed.
How do you find it other than you were on Amazon and you could see it on Amazon, but what about other, like were people trying to sell it other places, copy it and sell it?
Well,
Did you just move around?
Oh, yeah. eBay, you can see things. I mean, Google, it's so great. I was just in my pajamas. That's the best part is I ran the whole thing in my pajamas. I never had any employees.
Yeah.
I had a husband who was fantastic in financials. So he has numbers.
He was a good CFO.
And he was awesome. And then my son, who when it started, he was a freshman in high school.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
But his mind for marketing and common sense, he would tell me things that, because I don't do social media and things, he was brilliant.
Boy, those kids come in handy when it comes to that social media.
And girlfriends. I mean, my goodness, Nancy, you've been phenomenal in terms of advice and support and literally letting me cry on your shoulder a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's what girlfriends are for, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And the other thing, too, this whole podcast is about savvy secrets. So we've shared your journey and some of the secrets and some of the challenges. There were tons of highs, too. So these challenges are there because it's business, but there were so many highs and you've noted some of those. I really feel like you have one particular savvy secret that really made the difference for you from start to finish. And I would say that it's also something that I knew about you probably within a week of meeting you a few years back and getting to know each other. Can you believe that was actually before I was even married?
I
can't believe it.
It's been a long time.
Time is flying. But what do you think that savvy secret is?
Helping others. Honestly, helping others. My whole life. Yeah, I hear the word networking all the time.
Yeah.
And to me, that's too purposeful. To me, is helping people.
Well, you just do it naturally. I think you were probably the most natural networker of anybody I know.
Yeah.
What I think the secret is not just that you're so great about sharing your network, which I think we all need to be. I mean, that to me, it's not a scarcity model. It is the more you share your network, the bigger your network grows and the more you're helping people. But you also had a phenomenal network of people that you really have the instinct of how to tap into that network, how to use that network, how to not misuse the network. And I know I've heard you say this along the way. Every time you needed a resource, they kind of just showed up.
I'm fascinated.
But they showed up because you have a strong support system. You have a huge family.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of friends. You know a lot of people. As you were sharing your story with people, it's easy for the rest of us to go, oh, well, I know
Yes.
XYZ, or I know a great graphic artist, or I know a great this. And next thing you know, you've amassed this network that then also becomes your cheering squad. I remember that just from that GMA party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have had probably another 100 people there.
It was
but
fun.
then it wouldn't have been exclusive.
Yeah, that's right.
And I would have run out of food.
Those are all really, really good points. I just think people are awesome.
No, people are awesome.
And use your gut instinct more than anything, because there are some that are just, they only reach out when they want something. And your gut tells you when to run.
Right.
But I do, and I'll say it to your audience. People call me from all over the country asking for advice and asking, shoot, I'm not going to charge anybody. I'd love to help anybody if they need help. They're more than welcome to contact me.
Well, with all the downloads we're getting, your phone's going to be ringing.
Okay. That'd be great. I'm retired. I have time.
Yeah, you can tell the story all day long.
Yeah.
So one kind of fun fact that I wanted to bring up, and if you may not even have this number at the top of your head, but do you have any idea to date, or even up to the point where you sold the business, how many units of car caches had you sold over the time?
Oh, it's millions. My gut would say 3 million.
Oh, wow.
2.5 million to 3 million.
Wow.
With just running an Instagram ad, it's pretty good. No employees.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take
can't
that.
beat that.
Still can't believe it.
I
just think, I think faith, I pray all the time.
Right.
And number 2, I exercise in the morning. Best thing you can do as a business owner, as you get so many business ideas. Oh my gosh. It's nonstop.
Right. When I start my day after I've exercised, I'm so much more productive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so much more clear. The ideas come. I can communicate better, all the things. So I'm with you. The quiet time prayer in the morning, if you make it to mass, that's great. And then going ahead and exercising as soon as you can, like kind of in that order. And that, first coffee, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coffee has to come first, then get to work. I think that for women anyway, I don't know how it works for guys, but I think that probably helps them too. But okay, so I'm going to ask you some other fun questions so that our listeners can kind of know you, Catherine Seifert, a little bit better. So she's mentioned her husband, Dan, who's awesome. And I don't know I think I've told you this, that because I met you right when I was engaged, Dave and I were getting married, you two were our first couple friends that we made together. Because I had met you, but then we got together pretty quickly with Dan and Dave.
Yes.
And up until then, it was kind of like my friends or his friends. And so you were the first ones that are our friends.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's cool.
And then you had you had Nick. You have your one child, Nick. And I will never forget this. This is a fun story that because Catherine is not spending a lot of time in the kitchen, when she had Nick, we got a group of girls together and we paid a caterer to make a whole bunch of meals. I brought them out to your house and stuck them in your freezer.
They were amazing.
I'm so glad. So glad. And then there you go. Nick is so healthy and Dan was happy. But the funny thing for us, I told this story a million times, so you know where I'm going. Saying hello to Catherine, seeing the baby, and I had little Katie with me. I was on my way to an appointment that I wasn't going to tell you about because I had to run into my obstetrician husband's office because I couldn't figure out why at 7 weeks of pregnancy, I was ginormous. Yeah. I couldn't believe you couldn't see it. I felt like I felt like my belly looked like a trunk of an elephant. And sure enough, popped up with number 2 and 3.
Oh gosh.
Popping around in there. So I'll never forget that day. I can still see it in my head. And
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. It's standing outside in your driveway.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we have some great history together. And you have a huge family, lots of very successful people in your family. And it's really exciting. You're one of 9 and you have some really amazing siblings. I've met some of them. Your husband comes from a big family, so you're very family oriented, love to travel, all those things. So with the travel, if you went to sleep tonight and you woke up somewhere, anywhere in the world tomorrow morning, where would it be and why?
I can see it right now. It is Assisi in Italy. It's where St. Francis of Assisi is buried and grew up. But I was there a few years ago and it had such a huge impact on me. I mean, so much more than Rome. That would be it.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to tell our listeners?
No, but this was fun. It's been a while since I thought of the business. So this has been fun. But anyhow,
well, if there's any authors out there, this would be a great book, and then that book could become a movie.
It should be, because there's a lot of pieces that I didn't even share.
Oh, for sure. This could go on a lot longer.
It just doesn't make sense.
But I'm holding your feet to the fire, though. I get to play myself.
Yeah,
that or I get to pick Reese Witherspoon to be me.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be great.
That'd be great if she do it. Maybe this could be could be a Reese book and then a Reese movie. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be good.
So, well, thank you, Catherine. It's been great having you. And so for those of you who want to know more about this product, it is Car Cache. I believe you can still buy it on Amazon.
You can.
It will change your life. In fact, I know that my son just installed one for his sweet new bride the other day in her car, and she's using it. Lots and lots of my friends are using it. Your purse won't go flying all over the car. Your lipstick won't be underneath the seat. Nobody will step on your purse. And now, I'm so disgusted thinking of what's on the floor mats. I'm going to go wash my floor mats is what I'm going to do.
Exactly. But just remember to read the instructions. So you automatically assume you know how it goes.
Yeah, no.
And you don't. You have to read it.
You are exactly right, because installation is key. And once it's installed, it's there. It's good. Well, thank you, Catherine.
Thanks, Nance.
And thank you, listeners. For our listeners, I just wanted to ask a couple little favors. We are growing, and we're growing rapidly here at That's So Savvy podcast. I really need you to help me by liking and following our podcast, because that helps people know where they can find us. And the more people that can find us, obviously, the better we do, and the more podcasts we can tape and share with you. You can also please visit us at That's So Savvy Podcast on Instagram, and also find us on LinkedIn and share and follow on those social media outlets. And we also can use your support through patreon.com, patreon.com/That's So Savvy. That will help us defray some costs and continue to grow so that we can continue to bring you these amazing guests. Thank you so much, and we'll be back soon with episode 9.